Years down the hole and I'm feeling so alone as I forget how to play.
Good evening, Fredonia. You're listening to The Local Lowdown on WCVF 88.9 The Voice and WDVL 89.5 The Inferno. I'm your co-host, Mel, executive producer and promotions lead.
What's up? I'm Jordan, and I am your other co-host, and I am the A&R lead here.
Hey, yo, it's Alex, surviving today, but you know what? We're getting through it. We're producing, we're recording, we're local lowdowning. So
Indeed. Tonight's show is brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems, in a group effort to promote and showcase the local music scene here in Fredonia, but also Western New York at large. Welcome to The Local Lowdown.
Already on this episode, we have our guest for the week, Capo II. Hello.
Hi, what's going on?
Hello. Alrighty, so we can jump right into the questions. So why don't you start off by introducing yourselves and what role you play in the band?
Yeah, so my name's Augie Bates. I am the guitar player and backup singer and occasional saxophone player in Capo II.
My name is Andrew Anable. I am the drummer, singer, occasional guitar player, bassist, and executive chef of Capo II.
Wow.
What are some of your favorite spices to put into a Capo II song?
If you're not putting garlic powder in our songs, it's immediately bad.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's a start. We're cinnamon guys. We like to cook with cinnamon on anything, doesn't matter what.
So garlic and cinnamon.
It's a great, you know what? It's the greatest
Together,
duo. That's their
or-
nicknames as well. Yeah, we like it. We dig it. So
Yeah.
Cute.
Crazy. Well, so you guys first started releasing music in 2019. Is this when the group was formed as well?
yes,
I believe so.
I think it was the summer of 2019, which that sounds about right. I think.
Well, if the music was released in 2019, we started 2018 then, I think.
It's tough to say.
Either way, we're pretty old. We've been at it for a little bit. But I would say that the group kind of originally came together as a like acoustic duo. Originally, we were just thinking of doing, like covers and kind of making our own like personal twists on them. So we used to do a cover specifically. It was a mashup of 2112 by Rush and Thunderstruck by AC/DC. We would kind of do that in a cajon and vocals and acoustic guitar type of setup.
Right.
So that's kind of how we originally got going. But from there, we kind of slowly started to hash out, add electric guitar into the mix, eventually add in full drum set. And then 4 years later, we're back to kind of doing the full acoustic thing. So it kind of came full circle. Yeah.
I mean, do you guys have preference?
Whatever is less equipment I have to dig out of my attic. So when it's just an acoustic guitar thing, it's like, oh, word. When it's everything, because our main setup is like I have to bring a guitar, a bass, a snare drum, bass drum, hi-hat. And I live on like a second, but the attic's a third story, so it's a lot of stairs.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Comfort.
Fair enough.
yeah.
And then all you have to grab is the cinnamon and the
garlic
garlic powder.
powder.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And
then good to go.
we always have that in our cases. So really,
Right.
that just goes with the
Gotcha.
case.
Understandable.
So, despite you two being a two-man group, I feel as though, at least when I listen to some of the music, it never feels like it's only two people. The songs are very, the word on here is fleshed out. I would like to also add on to like full, very, it almost feels like there's like 13 people singing, but it feels just very full. And I don't know, there's no other way to describe it more than like it's very full. That's the best way how to put it.
Do you ever feel like it's limiting to only have two people, or you feel like you're good as being multi-instrumentalists?
I don't think I'd use the word limiting. It's more so just something to keep into consideration. I guess like the first thing that came to mind is like, so if you're driving a car and it's snowing, keep in mind you're not going to want to drive really close to the person behind you.
Right.
So if we're playing music, like for instance, solo sections, you have to kind of keep in mind, okay, well, if you're not playing the main part on guitar, what can I do to kind of increase that sound? Maybe it's instead of like a closed hi-hat sound, you're kind of opening it a little bit more. You're adding a different line in the bass. You know, stuff like that's kind of stuff we'll add in to make our live shows not feel as empty as they could be.
Yeah, and I think kind of to go off of that, you kind of look at bands like the White Stripes and the Black Keys. They're only 2-man bands as well. Granted, they're specifically using like pedals that kind of allow the guitar to have a sub octave, so it sounds like a bass is playing while guitar is playing. I admittedly don't have that. We tried to mess with we tried to mess with it, but I don't know. I really wasn't digging the sound that I was getting with it.
Right.
We just kind of don't need it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel
think
like we
for me at least, I just always go in, crank up my amp as loud as I can. When I'm soloing, if it's just me, I'll try to play like the root note of each chord with my thumb or an open string and then solo over the top of that. But it's definitely a different approach to playing the instrument, where if I had a bass player, I wouldn't have to necessarily be thinking of playing the root notes with it.
Strategic.
Kinda, sorta. It's a fancy way of saying that I fake my way through it, and it sometimes works. Sometimes works, yeah.
when we play our acoustic shows, I will play bass drum, snare drum, and hi-hat with my feet while playing bass with my hands. So that allows us to kind of have some sort of percussion and bass, so it's not like super empty. Because I feel like acoustic shows is really easy to just be like, oh, it's just two guys with a guitar.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of started off in like, let's be more than that. And then, yeah, as you can see, we have two guitars behind us because it's...
Well,
Two guitars.
I'm gonna backpedal a little bit to kind of go off of that. Originally, my idea when I reached out to him about having an acoustic duo, I was just thinking, okay, yeah, you can play cajon, I'll play acoustic guitar, and we can both sing. But then he comes at me and he's like, how about this? How about I play bass, play guitar, play drums, sing, and
like,
play
I got you,
harmonica at the
man,
same time,
Very eager.
and you can just stay there and play guitar. And I was like, all right. I mean, I have enough trouble singing and playing at the same time. The fact that he can do like 5 different things at the same time is like, it's mind-blowing. So if our sound is like hashed out more for those acoustic sets, I owe it more so to him than me.
I'm crying. I'm going to think about that later tonight and every single day of my life.
I'm glad.
Wait, how'd you guys meet? How did this come about? Explain.
We met through a friend. Shout out our boy Matt. We were in a band with him, and we kind of just met each other. The more we talked, the more we're like, oh yeah, like we are on the same page, and thus Capo II was born. So mutual friends type of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, being a two-person band, you guys come with different perspectives. How would you describe your different approaches to music? Do you have any specific differences in taste or influences or anything like that?
Yes.
Yes,
You're a
but
jazz
no.
guy. I'm not a jazz guy.
So I studied jazz. I studied jazz here. But my whole upcoming through high school, I was a big like rock guy. I was obsessed with classic rock, like bands like Zeppelin, AC/DC, Eric Clapton, guys like that. And that kind of meshed with some of the stuff that Andrew likes. Andrew, I know in high school was a big like metal guy, Metallica, stuff like that.
Rush.
Not
that they're a metal band, but
I think there was definitely a lot of musical maturity, I guess, between us two. Not that there's anything wrong with, listening to Metallica, lowering your windows, blasting it on the throughway. But I think we'll listen to a lot of like Jack Johnson and more like singer-songwriter
John
stuff
Mayer,
now. John Mayer, stuff like that. So that we have a lot of kind of similarities
Common
in
ground.
music that we like, but we also have wide differences in how we've studied and how we've come up. 'Cause Andrew's a classically trained percussionist as well. I do a little classical, but I'm more so jazz. So that kind of like meshes in an interesting way. We've tried to experiment with that in the past, doing like saxophone, marimba.
I still have that
duets.
solo.
Do
One
you?
day we'll learn it.
One day it'll come out.
Coming soon.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
I
Coming
mean,
soon to Milky's.
oh god, yeah, where all the
Marimba.
debut songs come from. I mean, going off of that, what you just said, Augie, like experimenting with different genres or different ways of approaching music, and it seems that you guys have done that within like the past 3 years. And to like name a few songs that are very contrast would be like "Song of the Day" versus "Lonely Tree" or "Tomorrow Silhouette." Like when it comes to experimenting, where you guys want to take your music. Does anyone like take a lead on that? Does it come from where does the inspiration to being like this is what we want to sound like?
I think it starts with whoever wrote the song. So for the songs that you just named, like for instance, "Song of the Day," that song was made by I wrote it sitting in my basement one day, just messing around with like a really crappy keyboard, and I just like got the groove for it, and then I sent it to him, and I'm like, hey, I wrote a thing, and then we kind of just like went off that. Tomorrow's Silhouette, though, it was more of I had a whole different feel for it. And he was like, what if we just didn't do that because it stinks and we'll do what I want to do, which is a cool jazz thing, which really worked out in the end. So I guess it depends on the song, who wrote it, what we're feeling. It's not much arguing, though. You know, it's usually just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever gotten in like a single big argument over music.
I don't think we've gotten in a
that's
minor
pretty cool.
argument, to be honest.
No, I think you're right.
It's usually
I
just like,
don't
all
think
right,
we have.
word, you know, like it doesn't matter.
Try to keep
You
it
know
that
what's
way.
funny? If we were to put all the parts from like the beginning of this interview where you guys are like, yeah, we met through a mutual friend and this, you guys sound like a genuine couple. We're like, met through
I mean,
that sounds so cute. Anyway.
Oh, Alex is losing it right now.
Sorry, I just was putting stuff in my head.
What the observation there?
Sorry. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of derailed the conversation, but healthy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I would say it's a healthy relationship.
I mean, I agree.
There's no fighting. You know, I get to see my friends. He gets to see his friends. You know, we still have one-on-one time.
Right.
The Capo II time. So it works out at the end of the day, I think.
Right.
It really does. It really does. I think we have a lot more common ground, he and I, than just music. And
Yeah.
I think that's why he and I match. Like if you scroll through any of our like Facebook Messenger conversations, which I don't recommend you do, but if you were to, it would be a lot of just talking about like football, talking about hockey. We're very, very big sports guys. He's more of an athlete than me. But,
I love that shirt.
But no, we definitely we love our Bills. We love our
Yeah.
Sabres. Big baseball guys.
Yeah.
We find a lot of common ground in sports. So if anything like frustrating comes up musically, like if we're trying to write for a project or whatever and it's just not clicking, we'll switch to sports, just talk about that, and then kind of the pressure comes off. It's a bit of a stress relief.
I had a question because I'm pretty sure, did you guys perform at Rhythm and Blues 2019?
Well, that's
believe
coming out of nowhere
so.
for me.
I believe so.
Because I remember this was like my freshman year. Because it's like all jogging back in my head. And I was like, wait, I definitely heard you guys perform. And then I was on eWord one time and I was going through Instagram and I was like, oh, wow. I was like, you guys did perform.
Oh, yeah, that was the Dolphins game. Do you remember? We watched
It goes back to
Yes,
sports.
yes,
What a connection once again.
We actually got them to switch our time because they were going to have us headline. And we're like, there's a Bills game on. Whoa.
Sorry.
So we moved from headlining to the opener and we watched the Bills beat the Dolphins. It was,
That was a
Squish the
very,
fish.
That was a very frustrating game.
because they were like 0-5
Yeah,
and
they
we
were bad and we were
barely won.
We were decent.
Yeah.
We barely won. Yeah. Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
I guess going along with what I was saying about performing on campus, what has your experience been so far? Because you guys are, well, I know you're a graduate from Fredonia and I don't know much about you.
Buff State Bengals.
There we go.
Ooh.
But I mean, you guys performed a couple events on campus. How has your experience with that been? I guess in terms of, I always go back to this every episode and I talk about like the scene, the music before, and like trying to make sure that your music is heard and stuff like that. But yeah, how was your experience with that?
Specifically with performing at Fredonia, it's, in my opinion, the best experience you can do, especially with like our age group. 20s, early teens. I just the music scene here is unlike anywhere else. I've even been telling my my high school students that too. It's like, even if you're not going to go to Fredonia, even if you don't want to go into music necessarily, if you like music, which I hope you do, you're in the band program, get down to Fredonia, go to a show at BJ's, go to a house show if you can find it, or even support the School of Music too. Go to something in Roush, go to something in King. The music scene here is unlike anywhere else. So I always love coming here and performing. I've had the pleasure, like you said, of going here the past 5 years, so I've really been able to absorb it. But any chance that I get at this point to come back down, you know, I'm always taking it. Yeah, it's a super fruitful. It's really rewarding to perform in Fredonia.
I think we've had our best, my favorite shows here.
I
The
agree.
Halloween house show, which actually I drove by that house today. I remembered it. We dressed up as minions because we're huge minion guys. We both ran a 5K dressed up as minions, so that will never die.
Oh my gosh.
But that was like super fun. Everybody was into it, and then we played another show. What was that? Valentine's.
Yeah.
I mean, just people actually came to care about the music. It wasn't just like, you know, a few people at the bar just like, yeah, good set, like, okay, whatever. I mean, actually cared. There was a ton of people there. There was like over 100, I think. I was like, whoa. And there was only like 2 bands playing. So that was like crazy.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely just relate to the extent of like, I guess, I wouldn't even say like, because I'm a music industry major, but like even people just wanting to listen to music, the scene here is just, hey, I'm not there sitting at a bar, drinking something. I'm genuinely there to like listen to music, support my friends. And it's something so wholesome that you don't really get to see all that often, which is why we want to promote that as much as we can with like upcoming artists or artists who are having releases and such. But
Absolutely.
wow.
And it can really transform people too, I think. So
Oh, yeah.
For example, my girlfriend, when she came in, she went to Fredonia as well. She kind of got in with a group of friends in like the science program, biology, all that. But in the middle of that friend group was Hallie Cook, who Hal and Pal is there. They're popping off right now. Because of her and because of Miles and everyone affiliated with them, these like science majors, they all got involved and pulled into going to these shows in the music scene, and they fell in love with it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just think that the power that has, it really speaks volumes to what Fredonia has to offer.
Yeah. Wow. Alrighty, and we're just about ready to move into our set list. Feel free to...
I didn't do anything.
Hey, Jordan, I think it's about time we move into our set list, don't you think?
Oh, I think that's a fantastic idea.
To the set list.
Here we go.
Maybe I should kick the Crocs into sports mode, but it's all right. We'll rock it like this. All right, well, this first song is called Another Broken Memory. I wrote it one day when I was in my basement. I think I was missing my my sort of girlfriend at the time. So we're actually dating now, so it worked out. I think it was the song that put it over, but all right, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Another day lost, another week is through, another drink gone, another I miss you, another wasted moment, another tear I've shed. My heart is lost away from home, not in this cold and lonesome bed. You're gone, I know it's true. Another drunken I love you. You're gone, but you set me free. Another drunken memory. Another night I'm dreaming Another night we're free. Another shot of whiskey and wondering who I'll be. Another chord I strum aloud, another song I help me see. And I play the same old soundtrack, the one about you and me. You're gone, I know it's true. Another drunken I love you. You're gone, but you set me free. Another broken memory. Time stood still since the day that you left me. But your last kiss goodbye holds all our memories. If only we had more time, I'll give you all of my heart. You're my one and only. I love you from the start. You're gone, I know it's true. Another drunken I love you. You're gone, but you set me free. Another broken. You're gone, I know it's true. Another drunken I love you. You're gone, but you set me free. Another broken memory. Broken memory. Broken memory.
Thanks, guys. This next one, contrary to popular belief, is not named after the hit movie starring Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. The song is called Seven, however. You wrote this one. I don't know if you have anything to say.
Yeah, no. The lyrics will sound very sophisticated, but I can assure you they mean absolutely nothing at all. But yeah, I thought it was a catchy little lick that I wrote back when I was in 8th grade, first starting to play guitar, and I kind of revamped it into this song. So hope you enjoy.
Definitely sounds like an 8th grader wrote it. So.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. But this is called Seven.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Seven years of bad luck thrills me, like looking through the broken glass. I looked at you, but you don't see me. You change the pace, you're gone so fast.
7th night of January, you stayed so silent through the pain. You asked me if it's necessary, and would you ever be the same? It started fine, but things escalated. You're holding on just by a thread. I always warned you, never get too jaded, or you'll be the demon inside your head. When you said, let's run away from this place, find somewhere far away and safe. Get in the car, put the pedal to the floor, 'cause this old house just ain't a home anymore, no. With 7 years of bad luck thrills me. I smiled in the broken glass. I passed a black cat in the alley, and I poured some salt out by the mass. I happily skipped under the ladder by the door, and I tell you everything's alright. You ask me what the hell I do it for. Remember that 7th night when you said, let's run away from this place, find somewhere far away and safe. 7 months has passed since then, and clearly 7 is my only friend.
Thank you. Hold on, let me just fix my hat real quick. I've got this like long hair thing, but I want to still wear hats, so I gotta shove it in the back of my head. What are we? This Capo 4? Yes. Even though technically our band name's Capo II? I know.
It's double us.
Oh man.
That's not a good thing.
No. All right, so this next song, you guys might be hearing this a little bit after, but it's still Halloween time. I don't care what anybody says. It's Halloween time till Christmas. So this is our cover of Zombie that we first busted out at Milky's. So shout out Milky's. Milkman, he was the first one to ever hear Zombie. So
It was.
yeah.
Which I listened to this song a lot walking to MUSB 420 last semester. So to take it as you will. Take it as you will.
Ready?
All right.
1, 2,
Another head hangs slowly, mine is slowly taken. And the violence calls such silence. Who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are fighting. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. No. Another mother's breaking, child is slowly taken. And the violence calls such silence. Who are we mistaken? It's the same old feel since 1916. In your head, they're still fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their guns and their drones. In your head, they're still crying. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. No. It's the same old feel since 1916. In your head, they're still dying. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What's in your
Thank you. Yeah, it was between that or Monster Mash. We chose to do that one. Oh yes, this next song. This song it's called Wasted Degree. At the time, I wasn't using my 4-year music education degree, so I was bitter and wrote a song about how it was useless. I've since came around. I'm now a teacher, so this song's kind of weird, but
Yeah, but now it has meaning for me because I was a music industry major and now I'm also a music educator. So
technically, you're kind of wasting your degree.
You got to put a little asterisk next to it, though.
Okay. It's a misused degree at the very least.
I like that misuse degree.
We'll write a second song. Oh, 1, 2, ready, go.
Years down the hole and I'm feeling so alone as I forget how to play. I gave my heart and soul, but I'm left with nothing more than a forgotten pride and a separate way. Mama don't care, Mama don't see all the wrongs I've done to me. It's not really fair, but how could it be? A shot from a bottle and a wasted degree. It's already said, it's already done. Lost all my friends and lost all my fun. I only see red, but not from the sun. I traveled so far and I'm back at square one. Mama don't care, Mama don't see all the wrongs I've done to me. It's not really fair, but how could it be? A shot from a bottle and a wasted degree. Mama don't care, Mama don't see all the wrongs I've done to me. It's not really fair, but how could it be? A shot from a bottle and a wasted degree.
Yeah. I like that song because it shows who the actual guitar player is in the band. All right, this last one is called End of the World. It's a song we wrote when COVID first happened, so you can see how that makes sense. This song was recorded in multiple different basements.
Yes.
I remember the first time we were recording it was actually sitting on, I think it was sitting on my washer.
It was.
Yeah, right in the washer. So, yeah, this one goes back. Actually, okay. Whenever you're ready, boss man.
All right.
Another shot, another smoke. The fire's hot, but my fear is so low. Another laugh, another joke. I don't know, don't care where we'll go. The news today is dark and gray. I'm riding high, feeling okay. Time's almost up, let's make the most of it. Bottoms up, no need to look back. Grab a cup, every guy, every girl. Sit back and have a drink, 'cause it's the end of the world. starting to rain, but we're staying dry. Can't feel a thing, the fire's burning so high. What's one more round? Got nowhere to be. Hell's all around, and we're young, dumb, high, and free. Sometimes a blessing might look like a curse, but I ain't gonna stop till I'm in a hearse. Yeah, 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 yeah. Time's almost up, let's make the most of it. Bottoms up, no need to look back. Grab a cup, every guy, every girl. We'll sit back and have a drink, 'cause it's the end of the world. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
That was a wonderful set, guys. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
I don't think we've ever had so much blues and so many solos. So
Yeah,
much
it's-
appreciative for that.
All this guy. I don't do a lot. As you can tell.
Well, before the set list, we were talking a little bit about the music community. And I have something that I want to bring up. I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't. And this was like one of the first times I got to see Augie do something live.
Oh, no.
Was actually at Solstice Jam last year when he suddenly appeared on stage with Fernway. I was just curious how that came together.
So, that's actually kind of funny. So I was on a big Fernway kick last semester.
Okay.
I discovered them at a North Pole show, RIP. And ever since that show, I was listening to them nonstop.
Yeah.
And man, I don't remember the name of the tune, but in the outro there was a very clear like saxophone going on in the
I think
background.
it's I Have to Return Some Videotapes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Written by Alec, I believe.
Is that an American Psycho reference?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Love it.
Dude, you're right on with that.
But the night before Solstice Jam, Fernway was playing over at Main Street Studios, which kind of off the rail. It's kind of cool that's a venue
Continuing,
that's
yeah.
happening now.
Yeah.
Shout out Felix for that, Foxhead Records. Get sidetracked, sorry.
No, you're totally fine.
I mean, it's
You're
perfect.
touching on everything here.
Stay tuned.
I try to keep up to date. I try to keep up to date with the Fernoni music scene.
Yeah.
They performed there the night before, and afterwards I approached Alec, the bass player, afterwards, and I was like, "Hey man, I've been really digging your stuff. I'm a jazz major. I've worked with you.
Yeah.
With this being my last semester of my like super senior year, how about you let me go out with a bang, hop up on stage with the giants of Fernway?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "All right, I'll talk to them about it." So then it was the next day. I show up to Solstice Jam with my saxophone, not having heard anything from him, just kind of like hopeful maybe it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But kind of anticipating, nah, I probably didn't talk to them. I'm not gonna bother them. They arrive, Fernway, and I approach Alec behind stage. I'm like, "Hey, were you able to talk to them? Is this something that's gonna happen?" And he was like, yeah, we'll call you up. And at that point, I'm like getting sweaty, getting
You're like, oh,
nervous. I'm like,
oh, man.
okay, what did I sign up for? And then they called me up, and listening back to my solo, I hated it. I really was not a fan of it. But the experience was just so amazing to hop up on stage with them and play with them. That was just one of those like moments. I don't know if you've heard the legendary story of like Jimi Hendrix hopping on stage with the band Cream. They're like a power trio in the late 60s. And nobody like jammed with them or Eric Clapton or anyone at that time. But here comes Jimi Hendrix, and he comes up there and he just kills it, rips a solo. It felt like one of those moments. Like here's little me jumping on stage with this like Goliath
established.
group.
Are you comparing yourself to the best guitarist of all time?
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's go.
Hi, Jimi Hendrix.
It was an amazing experience to play with those guys, and then come back the next day and play at the dog walk. That was fun too.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
Yeah, we've had them on the show.
We've had them. It was funny because that same day was when we were running wild, and we're like, it had like turned a snowball of like, hey, we can't go to this episode, or hey, like just stuff started like rolling off the table, and we're like, oh man, I was like, we got to get someone. And I was like, I'm going to take one from team. I'm going to walk right up to him. I'm going to say, hey, what's up? Are you free next Thursday?
So we both had impromptu Fernway experiences that day.
And they're like, let me talk to you guys. And I'm just there waiting patiently. They're like, we're wondering, because they've done apparently like 4 or 5 local lowdowns in the past. Yeah. And they're like, we're wondering when we're going to do that, because we do one like every year. And we're like, please.
Well, I think that you went up there and you were cool, calm, and collected.
Yes.
And just as good as Hendrix.
Just even better.
I don't know about that.
From the
Don't say that.
spectator point of view, you did great.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I do.
Looked like it was planned for weeks.
That's a goal, to try to pretend that I know what I'm doing, and hope it comes off that way.
Right.
So 9 times out of 10 it works.
What'd you say earlier? Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now it's time that we get into the topic of parody.
Of course.
Yes.
How does parody play into your guys' songwriting at all?
It does not. Our parodies that we do, as we said earlier, we're huge Bills fans.
Yeah.
We're solely like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we made a song? It actually started with, we did one for the Chiefs-Bills playoff game in 2020. We did
That's right.
I'm on the Kansas City song, we lost the game. So we're like, oh, that stunk. And I think we're like, the next year we're like, okay, we're going to do one for every single game. And we started off strong. We had like Renegade for the Steelers because that was their song.
Wait, every season game too?
Every season game.
Wow.
We did one for the Steelers, and the next one was like the SpongeBob theme we did for the Dolphins. And then I think it was the Tennessee whiskey for the Titans, which we lost. We did a Rainbow Connection one for the Chiefs, which was great because it was my favorite too. I did a Kermit impression, and I filmed it walking around Boston because I was like randomly in Boston that weekend. And we won that game, and then we eventually said, hey, we keep losing when we make these because I think it was after the Titans
just going to say,
one.
do you think you guys play any influence on the outcome of these games?
As a fan, every single thing you do affects the team. So, 100%, yeah.
Well, maybe if you guys, let's say a merch gremlin was looking to buy something. Maybe it could be put onto maybe a cassette. All of the parody.
Did somebody?
Wait, what?
Did somebody say merch gremlin?
I'm looking at her shirt that says I love gremlin.
I was not prepared for this.
I saw this earlier. It made me laugh. Your mother's so freaking funny.
Jordan,
That's awesome.
Jordan's gobsmacked. Thank you, Mom, for making me a merch gremlin shirt.
Wow, it's really the perfect season for this too. Like,
Alex,
little gremlins.
did she
on it.
buy that at Spirit Halloween?
No, she made it. She's heard about my merch gremlin tendencies. My little gold hoard that's been
Dude,
amassing.
that is so sick.
So why don't you explain that to our guests here?
Oh yeah, sorry
It's
about
just
that.
merch question.
I just raised up a shirt into the camera and just lost it for a moment. So merch gremlin, right? I like band merch. I like collecting merch. Amassing a hoard. I've got cassettes. I've got CDs. I got T-shirts. I got a little bit of everything. Honestly, I like collecting all the little trinkets bands bring their way through the little town of Fredonia. But want to know what I don't have right now? I don't have any bracelets. And I was looking on your website.
Actually, yeah.
I was looking on your website, and I gotta say, these bracelets, black and red, little rubber bracelets.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Little rubber bracelets. That's not something that's in my collection. Can you tell me a little bit? Why did you decide to make the one piece of merch on your website bracelets?
The one piece of merch.
It's currently
Honestly,
efficiency.
yes, I think it was the cheapest thing we could find. Because we made merch pretty quickly when we started out, if I remember correctly.
did.
Like we maybe played a show or two, and then we were like, all right, merch time.
Yeah, that's what I like to
fans
hear.
can
And
We
just-
figured why not? You know, bracelets are cheap. You could give them out / sell them for like a couple dollars.
Yeah, but then the issue is we just haven't made any other merch since then.
Yeah. We don't have a merch guy. You know, we need a merch guy to be like, hey, you know, like I'm designing these T-shirts. I'm not a T-shirt artist. You know?
Needs a
We
little
did
merch
have a few
gremlin.
T-shirts. We had a few T-shirts.
And we had
for a
COVID
minute.
masks.
That's right.
We did. We had
COVID
like you and I
masks.
had one.
Accessories.
And
There you
COVID.
go.
That's still in our car.
Please, I encourage you to say everything, all the merch that you guys did have, just to make him jealous, because he has.
Your dad made Capo II hats.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
Okay, so I
Wow.
guess we have a good amount. We just like need to make more of them.
well, here's the thing: if you make more, their value goes down. So if you only
right.
have a couple shirts out there, the value skyrockets. This is business,
Some
okay?
vintage, sell them as
Economics.
vintage.
Yeah, we know we
Economics,
have to
yes.
get merch. All of our fans constantly are asking us, "Hey,
Yes.
where are the T-shirts? Hey,
Where's your
where are
merch?
the albums? Hey."
Where's
I've
your
never been
cassettes?
asked any of those questions.
Well,
But
then let me ask them right now. Hey, where are the T-shirts? Hey, where's the physical media? Hey,
It's
Where's the merch?
coming
It's
as
coming.
soon as our next album is coming out, which is probably in like 2028.
yeah,
Okay.
Wow.
we're kind of like
Hopefully
George.
I'll be
telling
graduating.
me I gotta wait 5 years for a
They
shirt?
said stick it up
They're
here.
gonna be really nice shirts.
Our band's
they're gonna
kind of
be
like the
real nice.
George R.R. Martin of bands. We just take a long time to write stuff and a long
fair.
time to record stuff. And I don't even know. We have stuff recorded. It's out there. It's chilling. It's waiting. It's baking in the oven. Once you
With some-
add this to
some cinnamon.
Yeah.
the cinnamon,
Don't forget.
some
Garlic.
pepper powder, it'll be ready to cook, I think.
Right.
Well,
Let Capo II cook.
you'll have some customers.
Yes. if any merch does come out of the
Wait,
pipeline,
you guys
out
should
of the
make-
oven.
You guys should make some aprons with
some cooking-
add cinnamon, add garlic salt.
I like that.
Cooking with the two. I like
Cooking
it.
with the two.
I'll make a cooking show with you. I'll do it.
Let the two.
Let's
cook.
make a local lowdown Capo II collab apron.
All right. I'm about it. I'm about it.
That's so funny.
That would be valuable because there'll only be like a couple in existence.
yeah.
Goodness.
Hand
Well,
painted.
if any merch does come out of the oven, make sure you announce it. I'm interested.
We'll
I'm
get,
looking.
we'll get it to the gremlin. We'll get it to
Gotta add it to the gold hoard.
Yes, of
Yes.
course.
I will say, I mean, talking about releases, and you guys say that you guys have stuff in the works, just chilling, just waiting. Is there any upcoming shows or releases that you guys do want to share with us? Or to everyone else?
I think we have a show on the 19th of November.
Yes, we do, and that's going to be a really cool show. In Jamestown at the Inspire Theater.
Ooh.
I'm in a band called In Crowd in addition to Capo II. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
The in-
Bye.
But that's like a oldies kind of like cover and original band. I'm the saxophone player in that. But the people behind that band own this theater in Jamestown, Inspire Theater, and they're putting together like a festival on November 19th. It's like an all-day festival to raise money for the theater, ultimately get like a rooftop venue opened up. So Capo II is going to be playing at that. In Crowd will be playing at that. My third band, Gherkin Jerks, again, sorry, Andrew, will be
The
playing
betrayal.
at that too. And there's just going to be a lot of cool music. So especially if you're in the Fredonia area, take the half-hour drive on November 19th down to Jamestown and
day is that?
check that out. It's a Saturday.
November
Saturday.
19th, a Saturday. What
Yes. All day,
time? All day.
I feel like
Every
we
day.
play like at like noon or 1.
probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
I think. I just checked the
Noted.
schedule. I was a little confused.
Oh, there's
but-
a schedule?
No, I'm saying my own personal schedule. And I saw Capo II show, and I went, cool.
And what theater is this exactly?
The Inspire Theater.
Inspire Theater.
Yes.
And that concludes another episode of the Local Lowdown. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. We really did appreciate it. And it was a pleasure having you guys on. Thank you for the amazing set. And we hopefully to see more. I can't speak. Hopefully we get to see more music from you guys in the future.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you for
having us.
having
Of course.
Thanks for tuning in to the Local Lowdown on 88.9 WCVF The Voice and 89.5 WDVL The Inferno. We'll be back next week with Yellow Thumper. Looking forward to it. Same time.
Same place. Goodbye, guys.
This is today, a new start, a new chapter. Will you continue to write? Me, I'm okay, you don't have to look after. 'Cause baby, I'm feeling alright.